In my DMs every day, we get like dozens of pics, but like unsolicited, foreign, older gentlemen.
What is a misconception people have about online dating?
It's maybe that it sort of serves a narrow lane of like horny men.
That everyone's being something that they're not. Someone's pretending.
I personally had a great experience with online dating. I met a great guy.
Not everyone does very well on dating apps. Some of my stronger qualities are how I make you feel, and that's not necessarily something that can come through on a dating app.
I feel like the online dating thing has really skewed how young men and women especially look at relationships.
But I think I'm open-minded, so I would love to learn just to see what kind of success that they have.
I'm Anne-Marie, and I'm a stay-at-home mom.
My name is Percy, I'm 24, and I'm an actor.
Alrighty, I'm Eric, I'm 21, and I'm a student, and I have a little social media stuff.
I'm Brittany, I'm 28, I'm a holistic healer and a yoga instructor.
I'm Philip, I am 24, and I'm a director at Jubilee.
And I'm Kendra, I'm 27, and I'm the casting producer at Jubilee.
Can I get my online dating on the left and traditional dating on the right? Dating apps are all about sex.
I was a little hesitant to come up here because, again, I think it depends for certain people. But my generation, a lot of people just use it for hookups.
I was hesitant to come up here too because I don't think it's all about sex, but I do think it's mostly about sex. Yeah. I think it is harder to meet someone who is on there genuinely to like find a connection and get to know someone who doesn't want that, because for me personally, I want to wait to have sex until marriage. And I had a friend tell me I was too wholesome. And I was like, I was too wholesome, and that's why I wasn't getting any matches, because I wasn't like showing cleavage and I wasn't posting like thirst trap pictures.
I've been through it all, so just Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, even Facebook has a thing now. But a lot of times it's just, you know, I'm going based off looks, and then, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like I'll meet my partner in person.
I have an idea for you, Percy. Maybe I'll be a matchmaker. I'll start a business, and I'll find like really quality women for you and really quality men.
I had a time where I was on 14 different dating apps, and everyone was like, well, Kendra, why don't you like go on Christian Mingle? Christian Mingle is full of men who just want nice Christian girls and who are actually like Christian. And it's just like,
okay,
I'm
opening my business.
Going out on dates normally with guys, I would have just as much pressure as I would online. It's just
go out.
From an online perspective, that's not what I was looking for at the time. But when I was looking for that at the time, online is an easy way to find it.
And this is just social media in general, is that you can get away with doing, you know, you can be like, hey, babe, you know, I want to do this and this to you.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, in my DMs every day, we get like dozens of pics. But like, unsolicited, foreign, older gentlemen. Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, that's the reality of the world we're in today, and like there is a large hookup culture, so of course it's going to bleed into online dating, but I don't think just because it's online it's necessarily going to lead to a more hookup culture.
Did you meet your boyfriend on an
I did.
app?
I met him on Tinder.
You did?
Yes,
okay.
I did. Yeah, we've been going out for like 4 years now. He lives over in Philadelphia, and yeah.
I've never actually like gone on a date outside of a dating app. So I don't know, based on the people I've met, I don't really feel like there's ever been like an expectation that it's about sex. For me, the only expectation going into a dating app is that you'll like get along with the other person. I mean, I have platonic friendships from people who I've like met through apps like that where it just like didn't work out, and like I think that the reality is, for a lot of people, part of being in a relationship with someone is like sex. So it's really just like a matter of like thinking down the line.
Online dating perpetuates discrimination.
The kind of discrimination that I'm thinking of is good looks versus average looks. I feel like it sets a standard that's not normal.
Okay, you said looks.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. A lot of times when I'm on apps, it's always based off looks first. Like, I'm not even reading your bio or anything. And I'm just being honest. As long as, if you look good, I'll swipe right. And then if someone comes
But
along.
girls take pictures from up here. That's not that's not reality.
Okay, can I say I'm taking this prompt from a racial standpoint. There's a lot of racism in dating apps, and that is just the fact. The founder of OkCupid released a study back in 2014 where he made a graph and collected people's preferences. And it showed that Black women and Asian men are the least preferred on dating apps. I've had guys when I was on dating apps say the most disgusting racist things to me, like, let's play dress up like you're the slave and I'm the master, or like I've never dated a Black girl before, or like you're pretty for a Black girl. Just microaggressions like that, and it's disgusting. And it makes me
How do
feel
you
like I'm
respond to
less.
that?
I don't respond. I absolutely don't respond. You don't deserve my attention after saying something like that.
So I have the exact opposite opinion of Kendra's, where I feel like online dating has put me in front of people that I wouldn't normally. My fiance is Italian and he's never dated a Black girl before. I love him, he's the love of my life, and I met him dating online, and I don't think that we would have met in real life with our paths crossing. And I really apologize for that. It's like, it's okay for people to not like me in their head. But once you go ahead and send me a message saying like, let's do this, or you like calling me a name, then that's like overt discrimination. And I definitely understand that.
Because I feel like so often when people are like, oh, even when people say stuff like, oh, I only date Black women, it makes me feel like I'm less. Like, why can't you just like me because you think I'm beautiful or because you think I have a good sense of humor? Why can't you like me for basic qualities in which you like other women? Why do I have to be other because of the color of my skin? That's what bothers me.
Realistically, dating apps don't perpetuate, you know what I mean, not stereotypes, but discrimination. Because I feel like you come onto a dating app with your own preconceived notions of people. You come on, and if you choose to be racist or if you choose to act in a certain way, that was you as a person already. It's not because the dating app, you know what I mean?
But what do you think about dating apps? So dating apps like OkCupid and The League have preferences in which you can select race too. Do you think they should be able to do that?
I don't think inherently there's a problem with an app like catering to what it thinks your preferences are, because people wouldn't use it if it didn't give them what they were like expecting to see or like wanting to see. It's hard to tell someone that they're wrong for liking or disliking a certain thing unless they're being like outwardly hateful.
I mean, what's the difference? I think discrimination and preference is two different categories. Having a preference and then discriminating should not be intertwined.
But I think preferences invite discrimination, because if you prefer something, then a whole group of people are discriminated against. Because
That's my love. Am I not allowed to?
No, I'm not saying that you're not. I do think everyone kind of goes into dating apps with a racial bias. I cast a lot of dating shows for Jubilee, and we'll do like versus one or T for two. And the first question I ask people is, do you have a preference of ethnicity? And they always say no. And then a question later down the line will be like, can you describe physically what your person that you're attracted to looks like? And they'll say things like blonde hair, blue eyes. Well, traditionally white people have blonde hair and blue eyes, so you do have like a racial preference, you know?
I have felt unsafe when meeting up with a date.
So when I was younger, I was just scared to go on a date because I have had bad experiences. When I was 11 years old, I was sexually molested by a basketball coach in the community. So ever since then, it kind of put a bad connotation of like, I don't feel safe. Even when I did start going out on dates, I would have to drive my own car. I would let my friends know, like, hey, this is the person that I'm going out with. I send them my location. That kind of made me feel a little bit safer.
I'm really sorry that that happened to you, Brittany. Like, that is really unfortunate. I can't imagine. Me personally, I don't think I've ever felt unsafe, because I always make sure that I meet someone in a public space. I always make sure I tell at least one other person where I'm going and who I'm meeting with. I also tell them what dating app I met them on. And I make sure to like set a time for them to check in with me.
You know, I've actually, believe it or not, a good-looking guy like me, I've never been on a date, with someone online, But I usually get to know the person a lot before I take that step, because again, it's a lot of courage to be even just to ask, But again, everybody's experience is different, and I can see why for you it would be such a hard thing to cope with, and I completely understand.
Honestly, I feel like the day and age that we live in now, everything is totally accessible, especially information. So we hear about all these kidnappings and we hear about people, you know, like young women, not to say that it doesn't happen to men, but it's like, you know, they're
But like
being
people
missing
are
and
still
taken.
just meeting up at people's houses to hook up off of dating apps. I'm like, that is the most dangerous thing
Well,
that you can do.
a house, even if you go to a public place, you know what I mean? You can still be put in a super dangerous situation.
I've had friends who have met men online and found out after a relationship that that man was actually married.
But that can also happen in traditional dating as well. I mean, that can happen with someone that lives right around the corner from you.
Yeah, but it helps if you have your family and friends, your people with you that know your background, know the neighbor, or know, you know what I mean? It's like it helps a little bit. It doesn't keep things happening like what happened to you, but I think it kind of minimizes it a little bit.
There are like apps that have things both, like
Is it really?
like on Tinder, you can like see how many degrees you are away from someone. So if they're like a first degree,
No
it means
way.
you're both friends with them.
That's a good one.
And then you can sort of like
And
cross-reference.
they have verification processes online where you verify your Facebook or Instagram. I'm like, okay, if this person doesn't have this many verifications, I'm not even responding.
Online dating makes it harder to commit to one person.
So I've been with my current girlfriend for about a year, and we met on a dating app. I don't think it makes it harder to stay committed, but I do feel like it probably makes it harder to decide on like the initial commitment. There's a portion of time where we like still both had the dating apps downloaded after we started like dating, and it wasn't like considered exclusive yet. And there's just sort of this like thing in the air where it was like, well, who's gonna like delete the apps first?
I feel like I have a hard enough time picking my favorite flavor at the ice cream store. You know what I mean? And then like if I were like dating now and I met, you know, a guy online, I would be like second guessing myself all the time. It's like, well, what about that guy from two rows back?
I could not disagree more. I honestly feel like it's not a choice. You don't have to, what's difficult about it? When you love someone, you're like, okay, what? We're sitting in the car together. My fiance and I, we were sitting in the car together. Both of our phones were out. Okay, like delete this, unsubscribe from this. Like nothing was lingering. Like once, like I think it was like our second or third date, we were like, for us to really give this a chance, clear all that bad energy out, like let all that go so that way you can fully commit. Even if it doesn't work out, give that person a chance.
I agree with what you're saying, but like the one thing is like I'm talking about like a step back from there where it's like before you've like decided to like have a conversation about how you guys are together, not knowing who to like actually respond to on a dating app is what ultimately led me to finding my current relationship, which just makes me feel kind of weird because it's like I don't even know like how I'm making the decision on like who to respond to. Like there's so many people coming in and out of like the
In real life
messages.
too, though, there's so many factors I feel like that play into who you meet and who you decide to go out with that no matter what.
But it's
really
never all like congregated onto this one inbox of like people who are just like.
But I do think we have to speak about that larger congregation of people who don't commit because there's that net theory, right? Of if there's a net, I'm gonna be less afraid to jump because I know something is going to catch me. I know that I'm going to be safe. So it's like I can go into this and I can say I want to fully commit to this, but if we get into a fight or if they smell bad or if something, there's an out. Like there's always people who are always looking for the exit sign. And I think that's a larger population of people than not.
But then that's the reason why you have to commit, because I remember him mentioning that even when him and his girlfriend were starting to meet up with each other, you guys both had these dating apps still downloaded on your phone. For me, it was like, okay, I really like you, I'm giving this a chance, delete it.
There is someone out there for everyone.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like, come on.
I mean, I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I do believe there is one person for everyone. When I was 17, for 7 years, I wrote letters to my future husband. I would just write about how I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to spend Christmases together. I would talk about the activities I couldn't wait to do with him. And I actually was planning on writing a letter until I met him and then giving it to him on our wedding night and the whole, I'm so corny, guys. I actually ended up ripping the journal up because at the advice of a therapist, they had told me that I am keeping him in these pages and preventing him from manifesting in real life. And if I want him to come to me in real life, I can't keep him in these pages. And so I actually.
That's a lie. It's a lie. When I was in high school, I wrote everything down, and then it all came to pass. All of it, all the things that I wrote down that were my dreams.
The key to manifestation is being able to get it out of here and put it in some physical form, whether it be speaking it or writing it. So
I regret it now, don't worry.
For me coming into this, I wasn't looking at it as me against you, because I do think there's good in both, and it works. And I think at the end of the day, it all just comes down to effort and what you're willing to put in, because you can go online, you can do traditional, but if you only put in 50% of the work.
And you're not being in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're being who you
No,
really say you are.
I feel like many elements have to meet up, no matter if you're traditional dating or if you're online dating.
And that's it for you guys. Thank you so much.
High fives, y'all. That's been so much conversation before we meet you guys.
Yeah, because of love.
Yeah.